So, the Associated Press tweeted out a news story. Here's a direct quote. Breaking, French media. Woman crying, God is great, has injured two with box cutter at a supermarket in southern France. Except that's not what actually happened. What actually happened was that a woman yelled, Allahu Akbar, in Arabic, not God is great, in either French or English. Believe it or not, there's a pretty big difference. See, you never hear that phrase shouted in English before a terrorist attack. Ever. Maybe you say, it doesn't matter, we get the point. Perhaps the AP was just helping us to wrap our heads around the story. Translate it for the common man. Right, because no one knows what Allahu Akbar means by now, or the destruction that comes after it's yelled.
Oh, well, Aloha snack bar means God is great, you bigot. I'm with her, pound me too.
Okay, so if it was Jesus is great that was yelled, you'd want that translated to Arabic for the news, right? If a right-wing lunatic bombed an abortion clinic and screamed, Jesus loves babies, would you want the news to report it as Allah loves babies? Now how about translated to Arabic? Yeah, the translation theory to help the plebs understand is out the window. The phrase is already well known in English, much like the words tortilla or quesadilla. And again, you don't hear God is great in English before terrorist attacks. You just don't. You can't omit the motive portion of a news story because you don't want to offend radical Islamic terrorists. I mean, you can, but then you wouldn't be real news at all. You'd be, I don't know, some other kind of news. News that's not real. I can't think of a name for it. Would it be important if the radical religious terrorist yelled Christ the Redeemer before going on a rampage? Would that be important to the news story? Of course it would. You want to know all about that. There's no difference. Filtering news is bullshit. Now, say some blogger writes this, and yeah, it's not as big a deal, but it's not a blogger. It's the biggest news resource in the world. The reach of the Associated Press is incalculable because it's the main publicized source for news sites the world over, period. Anyway, people called the AP out, and in large numbers and pretty much instantly. They accused them of filtering news and called out the dishonesty. Obviously, the Associated Press is clearly a pillar of strength in news, a beacon of light, if you will, shining through the fog of weaker media, stoic and true, solid, legitimate, trusted. So then why did they change it? Why did they put up this tweet less than an hour later? Surely real news like the AP wouldn't be chased away from bringing the unbiased truth, right? They changed it because they got exposed. We all make mistakes, and that's probably what this was. Except these. And these. And these. Endlessly. No, the AP is quite often fake news, as you can see by these many retractions. It's a fun trick, really. Post fake news, get a ton of retweets, likes, and shares, then retract that story, and get far less traction. Speaking of fake news, I have to throw this in. I see people play the retard every time there's any truth to something Trump says. It's sad. There can't be fake news because Trump said there's fake news. You're getting played by a media that views you as a punk to be manipulated. Have fun with that.